Hello, and welcome to E-Bible Fellowship's Question of the Week. Now enjoy the discussion.
Welcome to our question and answer program. Please go ahead with your call.
Hi, Chris. Can evil spirits do harm? People believe that evil spirits can and do cause harm to individuals, but Satan, for example, cannot do anything without the Creator's permission, like we read in, say, Job, and Satan is the king of evil spirits. Man, on the other hand, can and does do evil, and he can also summon, as I think, and he thinks he's doing, but what I really think he's calling up on maybe a false god, like we see in Kings, the first Kings with Elijah and the prophets of Baal, and also in Jeremiah, I think Jeremiah 10, where God mocks idols. But a lot of Christians believe this, so can evil spirits do harm to individuals?
Well, we see in the Bible that unsaved people are subject to we could say, the influence as well as even, entering in of evil spirits. As Satan entered into Judas, we know a man had legion, and that man actually was a child of God. He was one of God's, he was one of God's elect, not yet saved, the man with legion, and he suffered greatly. He was naked and cutting himself, and just terrible trouble that he experienced as he was possessed by evil spirits. But Christ cast them out and saved that man. We know he was saved due to the language that is in the chapter. And so that tells us, as far as someone who's truly saved, that evil spirits cannot harm us. They definitely cannot infill us once we're saved. And, directly, we don't have to worry about evil spirits at all. But as far as unsaved people, they could enter in, or, evil spirits can stir up trouble among men. And that would be possible for God's people. That is, like, there can be a child of God in their circumstances, and evil could be stirred up, as we read in the book of Job, that Satan came before the Lord and was telling him, well, you've put a hedge about him, but touch his bone and his flesh, or his body, and he'll curse you to your face. And God gives allowance for that to happen. And the next thing we find, Job's wife says almost the very words that Satan accused to God. And she said to Job, her husband, "Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die." Curse God and die. That's what Satan accused to the Lord that he would do if he were, if his body were plagued, and his body was plagued. He had sore boils head to foot. So that kind of situation, or in the lives of the people of God, there could be someone stirred up to come against us or to oppose. But you're right, we don't have any worry or actual concern, because greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. In the world, not in the world in a geographical sense, but in the people of the world. He is that spirit, even if it's not like demon possession. We read in Ephesians chapter 2 that this is all the more common way that Satan is active in the world, It says in Ephesians 2, in verse 1, and you hath he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air. That's Satan. He is called the prince of the power of the air, the spirit, and he is an evil spirit, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. And the Greek word translated worketh is energio. It's the idea from Philippians, God in his elect children. It is God that works in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. It is God who energizes you, child of God, to do his commandments, to do his will. And in a similar way, of course, nothing near as wonderful as that or as powerful as that, but there is an operation of Satan, there's a working of Satan in the children of disobedience. Who are the children of disobedience? Well, they are everyone who is unsaved. They're all disobedient from the heart. Desperately wicked, deceitful heart, every unsaved person possesses. They rebel. They transgress the law. Transgression of the law is sin. Sin is disobedience. Everyone's a sinner. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That makes every unsaved person subject to the possibility that this prince of the power of the air, this fallen angel, evil spirit we call Satan, that he could work in the children of disobedience. And again, it doesn't mean necessarily that he enters them like Judas, but he works with just the wicked atmosphere of planet Earth. The working of secular society is away from God. It's going against the commandments of God. And so children are raised and we grow up, all of us have grown up. We grow up in a wicked world. And the course of the world, the way the world is going, is in a disobedient way. And there is this attitude of people that God refers to in 1 Peter. In 1 Peter 4, this would identify with this working or energizing spirit within the ungodly masses of the world. It says in 1 Peter 4 in verse 2, and this again is speaking of someone who becomes saved, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of God. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, the will of the nations, the will of the world, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. Peer pressure, the way of the world, the way of the world. Go against it and you'll feel it. You'll experience this. If you truly did start going against, and the only thing that goes against the way of the world, there's only one thing, and that is the way of Christ, the way of the Bible. Everything else is a part of the broad way that leads to destruction, the way of the world. You can be whatever you want in this world, any religion, any non-religion. You can talk about the craziest nonsense imaginable, and you're fine. You can paint yourself whatever color you want. and be as far out there as imaginable. But if you start going the way of Christ, the narrow way, the straight gate, and the way the Bible would direct us, well, then you're an oddball. Then you're separated from and moved away from. So, yeah, there's a definite atmosphere in the world where it is Satan's workings in the children of disobedience. It's how they were raised, or in their unsafe condition, it's how they naturally are. And they just gravitate towards it. And so that would be the energizing power of the prince of the power of the air. And that is, far more common than actual possession by a demon.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. That way you don't miss any upcoming videos.